Well, this is weird. I'm confused. What do I do with my hands? How do we start this? Hello? How do we do this? Somebody help! Good morning. It's the Pressbox Fantasy Football Show, which we don't normally do at this time. Ken Zalis was like, I'm Ken Zalis, and when I say we're doing a show at 10 a.m., we're doing a show at 10 a.m. whether you like it or not. I said, well, you get all the clips, man. I can't argue with you. It's the way it goes. Welcome to the Pressbox Fantasy Football Show. Glenn Clark, Kyle Ottenheimer, but most importantly, our lovely and talented host. He is Mr. Ken Zalis. Good morning, KZ.
Good morning.
How are you?
It's early.
It is early.
Not used to
But
this.
you got a nice rest out in the green room this morning.
I did. It's lovely there.
Anybody prepare you coffee or get you?
No, I had to get my own drink, but it's okay. It's okay.
Ridiculous.
You know,
Don't they know you're the star?
Nobody paid the electric bill, apparently.
If you need to hone your computer skills to boost your career, or maybe you want an IT certification, CCBC Continuing Education has the courses and programs you need for a career in the computer field, and it's all tuition free. From the basics to specialized training, we have the classes you need, from hardware to programming to cybersecurity and so much more. It's your choice. It's your career. Call 443-840-4700 or visit ccbcmd.edu/computer training. I need to emphasize, it's all tuition free. Ken Zalis, couple more injuries, couple more new starters at running back this week. Let's begin there. To what extent are we trusting the Devontae Bookers and the Darrel Williams? Is it Darrell or Darrell? Is it Darrell or Darrell? I think it's.
I've always said Darrell.
KZ, that's a good point.
So it's probably Darrell, but trusting Williams.
Dimebag Darrell.
Trusting Darrell.
You don't know who Dimebag Darrell is, so that doesn't work for you. You just think that I, for some reason, said Dimebag.
Correct.
Yes. A very well-known, late great member of the band Pantera.
Yes.
Dimebag Darrell.
Of course, I knew that.
We got to fix KZ's camera a little bit. Got to get that straightened out just a bit. All right, go ahead. Anyway,
Darrel Williams, I do trust, because
why would we trust him when we didn't trust Clyde Edwards-Helaire?
They seem to use Darrel Williams, even when Edwards-Helaire was there around the goal line, more than they did Edwards-Helaire. And I was kidding about the whole electric bill thing.
Oh, boy. That was really awkward for a second. Imagine driving over here this morning for all of 3 seconds of the Pressbox Fantasy Football Show.
The way they use him, and he's a guy that they absolutely trust to handle everything in the backfield in a way that, even though Edwards-Helaire's been the quote starter, I never got comfortable that even today, even with his 100-yard games, like, they don't trust him in certain situations, because key situations Darrel Williams would be in, or Darrel Williams would be in. All the Williamses will be in.
Well, not all. Damian Williams went to Chicago. Yeah,
who they apparently don't trust at all. But I think he's going to be look, with all the buys and with all the injuries, this is kind of silly to say, but he's going to be a top 20 back for me this week. Probably will sneak inside because of the matchup. Somewhere around 15. I don't know where I have him right now.
Okay.
I have him 18 right now, but when some of these injuries, we'll see what happens with Dalvin Cook and CMC and things like that. Probably around 15. If you spent your waiver wire money or your number one priority on him, you're starting him this week.
How long is Edwards-Helaire going to be out?
At least 4 weeks.
Okay.
So, I mean, you get that.
Yep.
So, let's go. The Jerick McKinnon, sure. I mean,
if you got a spot.
Put him there. He had a little bit of usage. Third down, PPR, desperate flex situation with injuries and buys and all that fun stuff that we're dealing with now, but not somebody I'm really, I rather start Gio Bernard over McKinnon. I got that question this morning.
Okay.
So.
All right. What about Booker? King Booker, as they call him. Is the five-time.
Yeah, I have him 19.
Sounds like he's a starter.
He's a starter. I mean, Green Bay hasn't been overwhelming on defense.
They're playing the Rams, I believe.
Green Bay?
No, you're talking about the Giants. The
Oh,
Giants.
I'm sorry. I'm talking. I'm got my Williams. You got me all caught up in Williams. Yes, the Rams.
There's no Williams on Green Bay. Oh,
I
okay.
know.
I got you.
We were
Damian.
talking
Yeah.
Damian Darrel.
Okay, I
I'm
got
so
you.
excited about the Williams.
I got you.
He threw a Booker in there for me. Top 20 still. Starting running back. Not as excited about the Williams as I would be with Darrel Williams, but plotting.
We got to stop saying Williams. We're talking about Devontae Booker.
I know, but I said I'm not as excited.
It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing.
Okay, it's a whole thing.
We'll move on.
Okay, but yeah, I mean the Rams have been good on defense. They haven't been great. I mean they've given up some yards.
Well, I think the excitement about Booker from people is related to how much usage Saquon Barkley had in the Giants offense. And I understand that Devontae Booker isn't Saquon Barkley. Like
Still ran 32 routes last week.
I know.
In his debut, what did he get? 88% of the snaps, something like that.
Yeah, he's getting all the snaps. I mean, I'm just not as excited about. I guess I've seen Booker enough. I don't. But he's again top 20 injuries. He's a starting running back. He's involved in the passing game. The Rams have given up some yards in the passing game, so you hope maybe 3-4 catches there. Sure. I mean, he's like I said. Right now, if they're healthy and they're a starter, we're using them. But clear RB, at least an RB2 this week.
So let's go back then, because you brought up Damian Williams.
Yeah.
Where are you now after what you saw a week ago with him and Herbert? Is he still a play? Is Herbert creeping in as a play?
Oh, well, Herbert's in the flex conversation.
Okay.
Sneaking closer and closer to that RB2. This will be a really interesting week for me of how they use that, because Herbert looked good. And Herbert's also the guy that I think.
And if there's anything that Ken Zalis hates, it's admitting that Herbert looked good. He hates doing that.
We've settled that. I said we're done with that. We're done.
Oh, you think we're done?
We're done.
Oh, you think we're done?
We're done. Ship is sailed.
Think we're doing that.
Decent little game for Justin Herbert last week.
Yeah, he was okay.
He was okay.
He was all right.
I got yelled at.
But Khalil Herbert's a different Herbert altogether.
I got screamed at on Twitter because I didn't have Justin as one of my stars of the week for quarterback.
Seems a bit suspect.
Yeah,
though, to be fair.
How many stars of the week did you have?
I had two quarterbacks.
And it was
Brady and
Lamar.
But
is that a rule? Are you allowed to have more than two?
I usually don't.
It would seem like maybe a guy that put up 50 points might be a guy that I would put on my list.
I don't know. I chose the other two.
He put up 50 points.
He had 43 for me.
Yeah.
All right, well, he had 50 in two of my leagues.
It depends what you're scoring.
In one of them, we have 6 points. The other one, we don't.
But what did Brady have in that league? I mean,
I'm not saying that Brady had a bad week. It just seemed
415.
It just seems like ignoring a guy that had 50 points seems a bit over the top.
He was third on my list. He didn't make the list.
Okay. But there's no rule that you can't have three.
There's not a rule.
Okay.
It's usually one or two.
Just a weird bit, man. Just a really weird bit.
But anyway.
And it just so happened to be the guy that you didn't want to admit was a great quarterback.
The guy that I admitted was the great quarterback?
Never going to let you live it down.
Okay.
Never going to let you live it down.
I said I'm wrong about many things, and that just is one of them.
Yep. And thankfully, I'm never wrong. Never, ever have never been wrong.
But the usage, I mean, it was 50-50. When Herbert was in the game, he was used. Like I think the snap rate was well in Damian Williams' favor, but Khalil Herbert was used every time he was in the game.
They were playing from up, I believe, in the second half, right? So could there be a game flow sort of situation here? Did Herbert catch passes?
He does. He's more of the pass catching guy, but you were up. So it's just it was weird how they did it, and I haven't seen anything. Like, my first thought was,
so where did
Williams get a nick or something that increased that usage? Because you would think you would want your sure-handed veteran when you're up, you're going to hand the ball, but that really didn't happen. So right now, with all the data we have, which is 1 week worth, it's a 50-50.
So where are you ranking both of them?
I'm ranking Williams because he had the first snap, I guess, and played the first half. in my top 20, and then within my flex top 30-ish, 35-ish is Herbert.
So you got them both as plays this week.
Yeah. I mean, look, who are you going to play this
week? It's bye week. I get it. I mean, we're starting to get into those in that world where it's more and more difficult to figure out what you're going to do.
Never realized how many 49ers I have on my my roster until the other day. I was like, why do I have all these 49ers?
I have more New Orleans Saints than I probably should in a post Drew Brees era. I have more of those on my roster than I think I should.
It's just like this bye week came up, and I'm like, I don't have that many players. And I'm like, it's Atlanta, the Jets. I was like, I have way too many of these.
Yeah, not good. Not good. Let's talk about Zach Ertz, because I think we're still working under the assumption that Dallas Goedert's not going to play tonight.
I mean, I don't see any way. I mean, the rules seem to change depending on who you are, where you are, when you did it, and what you did, and if you're positive or just around somebody. If it's 5 days, 10 days. He's within the 5 days no matter what, I would think. So
but if he's vaccinated, you could just need to have back-to-back. I don't
know if there's enough time for that.
I don't know either. I don't know enough.
I have taken Goddard off my list. I have ranked Zach Ertz in my top 10 for tight ends this week.
Okay.
And that's the way I'm going with it. Now, as we always do, we have to watch the injury report and what comes out at about 6:30, 7 o'clock tonight. And if all of a sudden...
Yes, Dallas Goedert's active, then Zach Ertz is definitely not a play.
No, then you can't play Ertz. And Goddard, I guess, is somewhere around 12, the top 12. I mean, you're not going to put him any lower than that, especially on a bye week. But I'm not going to just flip him and put him at 8. I don't, because you have both of them being active. So
it's going to steal a little bit
from each other. So, but if Ertz is the only play, Tampa has not been terrific against tight ends this year. They've been below the league average. Like, they're a better, it's not like they're terrible, but they're not in the top 16. And he seems to, Hurts seems to throw to the tight ends more than he does his wide receivers. So, yeah.
All right, so let's do this, because you're talking about it being bye week. Who are guys that could be sitting? You're sitting there. You didn't want to spend any money on your fab. You didn't want to use your waiver priority, or you missed out on the guys that you wanted. You missed out on Williams. You missed out on Booker. Who are guys either that just might be out there somewhere that might be able to help you if you're in a bye week pinch this week?
So just for this week?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can give me some that are not for longer than this week, too, but they would need to be able to be helpful this week, for sure.
So, if, at the wide receiver position, if T.Y. Hilton gets activated for game day,
sure,
he's a guy that probably wasn't on anybody's radar because people were down on him because he's always hurt anyway, and, the Pittman looks like he's the number one wide receiver there, but they're playing Houston. Could be a decent matchup. He's a guy that if you have waiver wire or you lost Juju this week or things like that, could be out there and maybe could help you a little bit. David Johnson is a guy that is on waiver wire.
I believe I've owned him in all of my leagues this year.
I mean, we've all
no longer a member of any of those of my teams.
A Houston running back in a league somewhere, dropped them several times, but the way they're starting to at least use him in the passing game, and as Mills is developing a little bit, and he seems to be the check down guy, and they're running a couple of routes, he's a guy that you could probably use. Gio Bernard is still out there. A lot of people, because it's Tampa, you got 3 running backs, it's more of a passing, but he's the passing down guy. I mean, he seems like he's in there enough. I know Ronald Jones is on the outside looking in. He's a guy that is probably you could use in a pinch this week. Look, Ricky Seals-Jones is still on waiver wires. The usage is there.
Oh, I tried it. I tried Jonnu Smith in your league last week, and I said, well, I'm not going to do that again, and went with Ricky Seals-Jones instead.
I like Mo Alley Cox this week. do not fall for the David and Njoku thing. I know people spent a lot of money and went and picked him up, but that was just.
Who's the tight end in Arizona now with Max Williams out?
I have no earthly idea.
That's great. That's why we have you here.
A lot of people think Rondell Moore gets more opportunity as a result.
I think that they just probably play a little bit more of a 4 wide receiver set, and which to me helps nobody. I mean, Arizona is very difficult to predict at the wide receiver position. I actually kind of like Kirk this week a little bit, but Moore. It's funny, Moore had the broken coverage, 60-yard touchdown, and everybody threw him up their boards. And then last week he has another highlight play, and the usage was good, but people are looking at the highlight play and it's just not going to be consistent. Like, this isn't a guy that week in and week out is getting 8 targets. It's not how their offense works. They spread it around. I mean, if anybody even
that's because they have Antoine Wesley, Kyle's boy.
If anybody even predicted beginning of the year that Max Williams would ever be a thing at tight end,
I hear you.
Let alone in an offense that doesn't really use the tight end a whole lot traditionally. So it just shows you how much they're moving the ball around. I will say this. I mean, I know that there's probably not a lot of QB decisions to be made this week, but Tua should probably be owned in all leagues. I don't know if you're desperate enough to use him, but he should be owned. And if we're looking ahead, and I put him on the waiver wire pickup this week, Fitzpatrick is a guy that
you don't think Heineke's played well enough?
This has nothing to do with whether he's played well enough. And I actually have Heineke. He's in a spot this week where I think he could hold off Fitzpatrick for another week or two because he's got such a good matchup against Kansas City. But if he becomes a turnover machine this week, I think you're looking at a situation where Fitzpatrick gets his job back as soon as he's ready. With an offense that, I was kind of bullish on Fitzpatrick before the season because of the weapons that they had. Now, again, some of those weapons have gone away since then, with Logan Thomas being out and really no Curtis Samuel hasn't done a thing. But, I think he should be owned in leagues that, if you're looking ahead at your buy situation, like 1 or 2 weeks, probably sneak him in now before you get into that situation because he's going to put up volume. The other guy that I wanted to mention that I had on my sleeper list last week, and he came through because sticking with Washington because of the tight end situation, because of the Samuel situation. Adam Humphries. Quietly 4 for 74, 7 targets. He's that slot guy now. He's that, with Ricky Seals-Jones in a PPR. I think he's viable this week to add to your team and maybe, get you 10, 12 points from that flex position. All
right. Every seat is the best seat at M&T Bank Stadium. Don't miss a moment of Ravens football this season. Single game tickets are now available at BaltimoreRavens.com/tickets. When we come back in, we'll get to your questions. Get them in the comments on the video or at Glenn Clark Radio on Twitter. We'll pose them to KZ. He'll help you set your lineup this week. It's the Pressbox Fantasy Football Show.
Need to hone your computer skills to boost your career? Or maybe you want an IT certification? CCBC Continuing Education has the courses and programs you need for a career in the computer field. And it's all tuition free. From the basics to specialized training, we have the classes you need, from hardware to programming to cybersecurity and so much more. It's your choice. It's your career. Call 443-840-4700 or visit ccbcmd.edu/computer training.
Glory Days Grill's popular Oktoberfest menu is back, and it features their delicious chicken schnitzel, 2 chicken cutlets, hand-breaded in herb panko and pan-fried until golden brown, served with mustard cream sauce, mashed potatoes, and roasted vegetables. Their menu also includes your favorites like the Oktoberfest Brewer's Platter, Brewer's Sausage Sandwich, Prussian Pretzel Roll, Slam Dunk Pretzels, and Apple Cobbler. All of these meals pair well with their many Oktoberfest beers and Angry Orchard on draft. craft. Dine on their patios or in their dining room, or order online at glorydaysgrill.com and pick up your favorites to take home. Glory Days Grill has been proud to serve the community for the last 25 years. Thank you, fans.
If you change lanes and brake suddenly in front of my tractor trailer, I won't be able to stop. Our lives could change forever. Trucks need room to stop. Don't cut it close.
Brought to you by the Maryland Department of Transportation State Highway Administration.
What's up, everybody? This is Tyus Bowser. I can't wait to see you guys for the Tyus Bowser Show this fall. We're going to be taking the show on the road all over the area. You can meet me and my very special guests. If you can't make it out, you can watch the show on live on Pressbox Facebook page or listen the next day. Find out more about where we'll be by checking out PressBoxOnline.com/Bowser. We'll see you all season long for the Tyus Bowser Show.
The next Tyus Bowser Show is Tuesday, October 19th at Twain's Tavern in Pasadena. It's brought to you by Pressbox, Grade 8's Memorabilia, and True Strong Services.
All right, back in here on the Pressbox Fantasy Football Show with Ken Zalis. KZ, you were a big winner underdog fantasy football-wise this weekend.
I was. The Monday night game was very, very kind to me. But I've had a ball this year with underdog, playing a lot of the player props. I've just started doing a couple of they have the mid-season best ball leagues where you just do a draft and best score wins through the rest of the season. Now that everybody has a little bit of data and you can check out who has bye weeks when and stuff like that, but you draft and you're done. They also have the over-unders rivalry within the game. If you want to say who's going to have more receiving yards, Mark Andrews or Marquise Brown, you can make that selection. And you can win up to 20 times your money. And best part is if you go right now and register, put in the code PRESSBOX and deposit at least $10, you'll get $10 for free from your friends at PressBox.
Very good. UnderdogFantasy.com or download the Underdog app and use that code PressBox to sign up. All right, KZ, let's get into it. Devontae or Javonte, Booker or Williams?
Close for me, but because there's no sharing for Booker, we'll go Booker.
And then what about Williams or Hunter Renfrow as a flex?
PPR half.
PPR. Renfro's been so consistent, man.
Yeah, but
the problem is there's no ceiling for him. There's
none. And do I want anything to do with Vegas this week? Probably not. I'm going to go Williams.
Ooh.
Yeah, this is a.
You don't think this is one of those things they rally and they?
Nah, I don't. I think you got guys that just don't know how to react based on everything that came. You know, we had a couple players kind of ask out of practice yesterday to kind of deal with their emotions and things like that. I don't. And Carr hasn't been good except with Gruden, so I don't know. I don't know if I'm happy about anything that's going on there right now. I mean,
I don't think I'm happy with anything.
I think Waller, because he's Waller, is the only thing that I'm going to start because of the position he plays.
Zach Ertz if he plays or Dalton Schultz?
Ertz if he plays. If there's no.
I mean, that's what I didn't mean if he plays. No, if Dallas Goedert doesn't.
If Goddard's out, it's Ertz. It's Ertz.
Are we trusting Dalvin Cook?
I mean, I think in this week with the injuries and the buys, I don't know what better option you have. I think you just take him at 75% of what you expect, because even if he's in there, I don't expect a full the way Madison played last week. I don't expect a full workload. They thought it was better to sit him out last week. He's back at practice, so I would start him. But if you normally had him as your a top 12 running back, he's probably a top 24 running back. But I mean, there are not 36 other guys this week that are better than he.
You're not playing Javonte Williams ahead of him?
No.
Nick Kelly just lost Saquon. I have 4 good wide receivers: Adams, Allen, Samuel, and Deontay Johnson in a 10-team league. I'm guessing that's Debo Samuel. Samuel.
I would assume he said good.
Yeah, he did say good. Is it worth considering trading one of those wide receivers for a top-tier running back, or do you think I just ride it out and hope that Barkley recovers? Chubb and Robinson are my 2 running backs right now.
Well, it doesn't suck.
Those are pretty decent options behind Saquon. How did you get Saquon, Barkley, and Nick Chubb?
And those receivers.
It's a 10-team league.
Yeah, but still.
I know. I don't know.
Barkley fell to the second in some rows.
Yeah, it's weird. So did Chubb.
But I don't know how he got all the receivers with that. That's what I can see.
Well, Debo, you got late.
Okay, fine. But
Johnson,
Keenan Allen
late.
and all those.
I mean,
Devontae Adams is the one.
Devontae Adams.
It makes no sense that you have Barkley, Chubb, and Devontae
are the
Adams.
three that are confusing me. The rest of them, I mean,
maybe it's a keeper league. Who knows?
Who knows? Maybe. No, in a 10-team league, I keep my advantage. I don't trade one of those for a guy. You're not trading unless you can trade them for someone who's better than James Robinson. I don't know who that is right now. No, just hold on to it. It's a 10-team league. There's somebody on the waiver wire every single week that you can bring in that'll get a start.
Okay. From Chris says he's frustrated with Ryan Tannehill, but is he at the point where he would be picking up a Taylor Heineke or Carson Wentz or a Baker Mayfield instead?
For this week, Heineke, yes. Not consistently. I mean, look, depending on
just because he's up against the Kansas City defense.
Right. I mean, they've given up yards to everyone.
Meanwhile, the Buffalo defense has been quite good.
Yes. I mean, you can't use Tannehill this week, and even if, I mean, it would be nice if we saw Tannehill with his full array of healthy targets. I don't know when that happens, and the bottom line is as long as they're running on people,
right.
It's the Derrick Henry show. So is he droppable? I'm not mad about it, but the other guys aren't. You're not dropping him for one of those guys because they're not consistently. They're just streaming options. This week, your option is pick up Heineke and start him. I
just picked him up in your league, by the way. I just decided to go ahead and pick up Taylor Heineke.
Yeah, why not? But no, I mean, if those are the only guys that are out there, and you're carrying, I would find somebody else to pick up Heineke and hope that the matchups and the health of the team improve. All
right, here from the world of this is a real question. Play 2. Oh, sorry, he says play 3. Mecole Hardman, T. Higgins, Hunter Renfrow, and Allen Robinson.
Yeah, what are we doing with Robinson? I mean, I'm sitting Renfrow. Higgins has to play for me. It's a terrific matchup. I mean, what?
I'm really frustrated with Allen Robinson. I'm unbelievably frustrated with Allen Robinson. The entire world is
frustrated with Allen Robinson because we've seen this is a approaching 100-catch, 1,000-yard receiver each of the last 2 years where the quarterbacks weren't even good. So it's like, I had some hope the week before because he got targets and Mooney was the recipient of some yardage and then last week it was just but again, I don't want anything to do with the Raiders this week.
All right, Kyle, go ahead. Go. You can get your question in, Paul. Paul's got a question. Paul Valley has a question. Go ahead.
All right, so I have a couple guys on a bye this week. Am I starting Damian Harris or Melvin Gordon as one of my running backs?
Damian Harris. Yeah. Again, just because of the 50-50 split, and you're getting a guy that's gonna we think we'll have to see. The only thing I'm going to tell the Damian Williams owners is Damian Harris owners is just make
too many Williams, too many Damians, too many.
Make sure he's practicing because he did have a little chest thing. They said he's fine, but just take a look at that as. Friday is the key day. Nothing else matters besides Fridays anymore.
All right.
This is emotional. These are the final questions Kyle's ever going to ask you. Ever. Because he's going to die. He's going to drive off a cliff tomorrow and be dead.
So I had the Devontae Booker, Javonte Williams thing. We've already answered that. Yes. So Javonte Williams or Tim Patrick? Or Christian Kirk? Or Damian Harris?
Ooh, okay. Now... Not many people will give you this answer, but Kirk is one of those guys. I see the big week this week.
Is it just you have a feeling, or is there a reason for this?
It's just he's gonna. I think because he's gonna draw in most situations. If Moore's on the field,
so clever.
I know because you now have Max Williams on IR. Kirk's gonna get the slot. And Clark's going to get the third corner, and I like that matchup.
So would you play Tim Patrick or Jacoby Myers?
Myers, safer floor.
So you like Myers and Kirk, and you have Devontae on the bench.
I do.
Okay, fine, and Damian Harris as well. That's okay.
That's fine. Just for the record, it's fine.
Emmanuel Sanders.
No,
You mentioned
just,
T.
he's
Higgins.
acknowledging that you
He's
said.
acknowledging
This
I
is like
said.
when I have a conversation with my wife,
See, he's got,
and
when Kirk goes 1 for 10.
Yeah, 100%.
You know.
It's hard to trust him.
I know. I agree.
Emmanuel Sanders or T. Higgins.
Like T. Higgins this week. Yeah, T. Higgins.
Emmanuel Sanders has been really
Yeah,
good.
I
know.
He's been really
I
good.
know.
Higgins has been underwhelming.
Tennessee's defense not
I know.
very good.
Higgins has been disappointing for me.
Well,
Why do you ask the questions,
well, he was
Kyle?
hurt. He was hurt, and last week he was. I grant you that. I like it. I like it this week.
All right.
Got to be true to my rankings.
Let's see. Are you playing Beckham over
No.
either of
Okay.
Jacoby Myers or Michael Pittman? No.
No way.
All right.
No way.
And
Till he does something.
Remember when he used to be a
Dead
thing?
me.
Remember
Dead me. Somebody,
that?
There was a thing on Twitter this week. Is he just a bad football player now, or is he in a bad situation? Like,
Yes.
okay,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know which one's true, but yes.
Yes.
Vikings defense
Kind of like him.
or any of the Bengals, the Jaguars, or Dolphins?
Cincinnati Bengals, my friend.
All right.
He didn't like any
he's
of those
really
answers.
reluctant.
This
He's
is
not.
great. Did
he's
not like
so
any of those.
dismissive
So
of
we're
you.
gonna have to write down the what in,
Yeah.
in these leagues. What KZ said and what I started, and see
Yeah.
where we are at the end of the day.
All right. I mean, I'll trust you on that one.
I like Cincinnati this week.
Unlike the other ones where he heard your answer and completely ignored it.
I didn't ignore it.
He
It
didn't
just
ignore it. He heard me.
give me pause. Let's put it that
He
way.
didn't ignore
All right,
it.
that's what I got.
All right, very good. Anything else we need to know this week, Ken Zalis?
If they're healthy, start them. We're already there. Week 6.
I get it.
The only thing, this week brings in with the bye weeks. It's a new way. It's the second season of fantasy football, and you have to look ahead. You have to look ahead a couple of weeks. Like, who do you have on bye? And like you should be Sunday morning after you have your lineup set. You should look at your lineup for next week. How many of those guys are on bye? How many do I have a hole? And you should fill it now, not wait till the waiver wire next week.
Right.
Fill it now. For the guys that aren't starting this week, that you don't want to start next week, get rid of them. This is your indication. If they're not starting this week when you have holes in your lineup, you don't need them on your roster. Find somebody else. So,
Real quick, would you start Emmanuel Sanders over Damian Williams?
which team he's playing? No, I'm kidding. So many Williams and Damians.
I just realized I need a tight end and a quarterback next week, and I don't have a
There
backup
you go.
either on my
Don't-
roster.
Don't you like?
Yikes.
See, good thing I gave that.
Goodbye,
last
Zach
advice.
Pascal and Chris Evans. It was nice knowing
There
you.
you go.
Yeah.
That's what you do. PPR half.
Yes.
Which one? I said two things.
Half.
Give me Williams.
All right, last one from Matt Myers. He wants to know, and this is a doozy. He says he plays in a league where it's not just 0.5 PPR, it's 0.25 points per carry. So would you play Kirk, Gaskin, or Jamal Williams as your flex?
Kirk,
Gaskin, or Jamal Williams. Again, 0.5 PPR, 0.25 points per carry. I've never had to think about that in my life.
Go trade everything for Derrick Henry.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, I'm going to go Gaskin.
All right, very
Let's
good.
pray that was not a mirage.
At Fans Fantasy on Twitter is how you follow him if you didn't get your question in, or if you didn't realize
Did
the
you
show
see
is
the question on Facebook?
Oh, what is it? Go ahead.
AJ Brown is hurt with a bad matchup. Do I dare start Boyd, or if Goddard is out, do I consider Ertz? Hurts is my quarterback. I don't know what that has to do with it, but there it is.
So he's asking if he starts.
AJ
Ertz.
Brown's hurt. Would he start Boyd or Ertz over Brown, presumably in the flex?
Okay, so I want nothing to do with Brown.
It's a half-point PPR.
I want nothing to do with Brown this week, so let's start there. If Dallas Goddard is out, I'm going Ertz.
Okay, there you go. If Goddard plays, you're playing Boyd.
Boyd.
Okay, there's your answer. Very good. Hey, Glory Days Grill's popular Oktoberfest menu is back, featuring the delicious chicken schnitzel, 2 chicken cutlets, hand-breaded in herb panko and pan-fried until golden brown. Served with mustard cream sauce, mashed potatoes, or roasted vegetables. You don't have to choose. You get them all.
Oh, my God.
It's so good. Their menu also includes your favorites like the Oktoberfest Brewers Platter, the Brewers Sausage Sandwich, the Prussian Pretzel Roll, Slam Dunk Pretzels, and Apple Cobbler. They all pair well with the many Oktoberfest beers and Angry Orchard on draft. Dine on the patios or in the dining room or order online, glorydaysgrill.com, and pick up your favorites to take home. They've been proud to serve the community for the last 25 years. If you're with us on video, give us 1 minute and then hit refresh and then come back for Glenn Clark Radio. KZ's going nowhere. We're going to make our picks. If you're with us on audio, do nothing.
I'm gonna play the intro and then we'll just restart it, I guess.
Yes, that's what we're gonna do. 100. It's just like when we do the show the other way, just the opposite. You know, you get it. You can handle this. You're big boys, I promise. So that's what we're doing. Stay tight. Glenn Clark Radio is next. This has been the Press Box Fantasy Football Show.